Hello Stampers! I've got a little card for you today with some Sandpipers on it, and I'm going to be using a new stamp set. It's Seaside Bay. This is from Stampin Up, and we're going to be using these little birds in the sand, and you could use like any sentiment that is in the set along with any sentiment you may have in another set. It's just a pretty generic card scene that you can just use for so many different occasions. And we're going to make this faux wood background, which is a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're going to get going on this right away. Now all the dimensions for this card you can find down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them down there under the description, along with all the links for the products. So we're going to start out with a 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 inch piece of basic white cardstock. And we're going to put our little background in, and I'm just going to use direct-to-paper. I'm going to start with Crumb Cake ink. And we're going to do direct-to-paper where we're just using this edge here. And I'm going to have this at a tilt. And you definitely don't want it flat. You want it at a tilt. And I'm lightly going to put in my sand area here. Okay, so use a light stroke. You can build it up by doing multiple strokes. So there's the sand part, and then I'm going to come in with some Coastal Cabana. And again, I'm going to use this short edge, but I'm going to use it at a side here, and I'm going to bring it in this way across. And I'm just making some strokes here. And it's okay that it's streaky. I want it that way. That way it looks like it's like water coming in. So that was Coastal Cabana. Now I'm going to get a little darker and bring in Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do that same stroke. I'm using that short edge, and I'm coming in on the sides here. And I'm just coming a little short of the middle there. And then I'm going to bring it in from this other side too. And there is our water that we put in. That was Bermuda Bay. So next I want to stamp our little birds. So we've got our little Sandpipers here, and I'm going to stamp them with soft suede. And I'm just making sure that I have all of their feet in a water area. There we go. So there's our little birds. And then when I have that out, that soft suede out, I have the stamp here, which is just a bunch of little dots. And I'm going to use that up here in the sand area just to make some dots in the sand. Here we go. There's the dots for that. We're just moving right along here. And I've got a white gel pen, and I'm just going to color in the open areas on these little Sandpipers. Now, I'm going to make dots where it's light blue throughout the bird, because I don't want that light blue to be showing through at the end. And I'm going to take that white around the eye. I'm filling in that whole belly there, and then like I said, in the wing area where there's little open dots, I am going to fill that in with white dots. I'm going to do that for each bird. I really want my birds to be white and brown and not have that watercolor on them. Okay, so there is the white gel pen. And I'm going to take a light soft suede marker. This is a Stampin' Blend marker. And I'm going to color over those white dots that I have on the wings. And that makes them brown. You might have to wait a moment for your white to dry a little bit. I'm going a little quick here in this video. And if you find it's not coloring, just scribble on your scrap paper there because it might have a little bit of that white gel pen on your marker tip. And that brings that wing area and everything back to brown. And you don't see any of that blue from the water on your birds. And that was the light soft suede. Now I want to add some little shadows in the water from our little birds. And so I have a light Bermuda Bay Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm going to add over their feet area just a little scribble there, just making a little shadow for them. There we go. And that just makes them look like they're above the water, putting a shadow on the water surface. So there is our birds and our sand, and that is done. So we're going to set that aside. Next we're going to work on our background. Now I have a Crumb Cake panel here that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take some soft suede, and I'm going to do direct to paper using that short end, and I'm lightly going to draw it down my cardstock here. It's okay if you get streaks or whatever, because this is going to look like wood in the end. Okay, and now I'm going to put in, I have the dark basic black Stampin' Blend marker, and I have a ruler here. And I'm not going to measure these, I'm just going to add some lines. I'm going to use the fine point of the marker here. And I'm just going to draw a line down. I'm not measuring the width or anything. I'm just putting a few lines. There we go. And while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dots at the top and bottom of each of these sections to make them look like nail holes. Okay, so there is that. And now I'm going to bring in some Bermuda Bay, and I just wanted to bring some of that in over on the left side, and I wanted to have a design in here. There is a design in this, and this I'm using one of our background stamps. And this background stamp is Pretty Medallion. It's a beautiful image. And I'm going to stamp this a couple of times on the left side of my panel, inking it up, and I just want a couple of those designs at the top, like this portion here. And then I'm going to ink this back up and put a couple more at the bottom. Just to kind of fill that in so it doesn't have like a rounded part like this image. I stamped these 2 and then again so they're more straight and not so rounded. Alright, and then I want to add some of this Bermuda Bay just to the outside of this design here, all along this edge. Now I'm not covering the whole thing up. I've got plenty of that design showing here with no additional color on it. There we go. So that's what I'm looking for. That to me just screams like old wood from the beach. So that was Bermuda Bay. Okay, now I'm going to use an embossing folder. And the embossing folder I'm using is called Timber. It's the 3D embossing folder. It has this great wood grain texture. And I'm going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to run it through so it's face up towards this logo piece. And just like that, the magic of video, we have this great texture to our panel here. Now I've got my soft suede ink pad here, and I'm going to do this very lightly. I'm going to do direct to paper over this and bring that texture out. See that texture come to life here. And I'm going to do it very lightly, even over that green area. And there's our texture that just popped out. So I love this look. You can use this for so many different backgrounds. Okay, so now we're going to start putting things together. I just want to flip my inky scrap paper over here. There we go. And I'm going to adhere my main panel designed to a basic white panel that is 2.5 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to use multi-purpose glue for this. There we go. And I kept this design really simple. So now we're going to adhere this to the front of our card. And a little love there. There we go. I like to turn this over and give it a rub since you're gluing something to a textured panel. Okay, now I want to add some ribbon, and I have soft succulent ribbon here. I'm going to add a length of it to across my panel here. I'm just coming down a little bit below that main design panel. And I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere the ends to the back. Just make sure you press that ribbon down in. You want to press that ribbon down into that really well. Okay, now I'm going to adhere this to the front of a white card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in half to create my quarter card. And I'm just going to center this up on here. And I'm going to go right over that ribbon with my glue or adhesive or whatever you're using. There we go. I'm going to turn it over, give it a rub, and there is that. And I'm going to add another piece of ribbon to the front of the card. I wanted to make a bow. I'm just going to slide this under my ribbon I already have on there. And I'm going to turn my card kind of upside down so I get my bow going the correct direction that I want it. And then when my ends are loose here, I'm going to get everything going the way I want it. And then I'm going to tighten it up, and then you can pull these back in and tighten again until you get it the way you want it. Okay, I think I have that. Now I'm just going to trim these ends. There we go, and there is the front of our card. Now for the inside, I have a crumb cake panel here that's 3 3/4 by 5. And I just wanted to add a little bit of a design on the inside of the card. And then we have this wonderful little image here that has dots and some seashells. So I'm just going to stamp this on the bottom of my panel here. There we go. And that's all I'm going to do for the inside until I know what I'm going to use this card for. So I'm going to adhere this panel to a soft suede panel that's 4 by 5 1/4. There we go. Now I'm just going to adhere this to the inside of my card. Add some love. There we go. And now, since I've put these panels in here, the back of my card weighs just about the same as the front. And so I don't have a flimsy back panel to this. So now I just want to take a bone folder and I'm going to get my crease nice. And there is my finished card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a go. It's a lot of fun and it's pretty quick too. And you'll learn how to do that wood grain background that's so useful in card making. So thanks for joining me today. Take care. Bye.